Hello and welcome to race number 17. We're here at Iowa. Just finished up qualifying at the moment. I was trying to get in the session as I could. A little on a time crunch, but we made it. 38 seconds left. Currently, Dean is first, and we do have a little adjustment to the standings. Travis Lapinus chose not to be in it, so that did bump up Darnell into the round of 10. Now, just gotta bring up my, not that. Panels. You can look at someone else other than Drew Trader. Actually, Drew Trader is the only person on track, and this is what iRacing looks like when, well, yeah. So as soon as Dean hops in and the rest of the field, we'll go through our lineup for tonight. That is one interesting looking scheme for I almost sucks. Okay. Because Will has a friendly battle with team owner Brady. I don't think Brady's here. No, he's not. He's doing something else tonight. But yeah, they have a friendly battle about Iowa, whether it's good. Brady likes it. Will does not. Most people do not. So that bump in turn number 1, which I'm going to probably talk about quite frequently. But we'll go through the lineup now. Smaller field tonight. I'm kind of expecting, the season comes to a close. You got a round of 10, 14 guys in the session. So field naturally kind of does shrink, especially when playoffs come. People are out of it and like, I don't want to compete anymore. But starting on pole tonight is going to be the 41 of Dean Demmer, and his outside the 48 of Will Cloud. Behind him, the 07 Malachi Drake, and I just want to say my ticker is right for once. I absolutely love this. I don't know if it's because I joined the session late. And in the 4th position is number 14 of Nicholas Fuller, and 7th, the 77 Brian Lorenzo. Looks like he has some work to do, but ooh, that is a nice throwback. And okay, for a little out of order. Right now, to the inside of Brian is the 51 of Paul Urban. Shows in 10th. He is not quite in 10th. He is in 5th. Actually, 6th would be Brian Lorenzo. Looks like 7th, number 5, Michael Steele. And 8th, the 93 of Dustin Carroll. Followed by Zachary Thornton in 35. Forrest Smith in the 81. Oh, that's the start. And Forrest Smith will round out your top 10. See what camera angle I like. Number 2 is good. We'll try number 2. I'm liking that. Yeah, no, the 41 does have a great looking scheme. The 48 Will, I must say, is looking kind of festive. Very, very, very colorful. Then we got a lot of our usual schemes here. Brian Lorenzo's in a throwback. 51 is always in a game with someone else. Behind Brian is Dustin Carroll running something different. I don't know if that's supposed to be a throwback for Dustin, or if that's a new paint scheme. I think it's a new paint scheme, and I'm digging that. But we are off green, not yet. I just heard the cars roar and it a little excited.
Green.
But green flag is off right now. Dean Demmer going to lead us. 120 laps here at Iowa. And into turn 1, we'll see people are trying to avoid the bump for now. And when your tires get worn, you may want to use that bump for a little extra something to get the car to turn just based on handling. Kind of a dirt track technique, but on asphalt, and not usually like that. When asphalt tracks get potholes, it's not good. Right now, everybody's single filing out. Will Cloud looks like he's poking his nose to the outside, but does not have the momentum. Get by Dean, people are single file out, but back there, Michael Steele right now side by side with Zachary Thornton. Most of these people in the field are playoff guys. 4 of them are not. Steele's going to lose that battle to Thornton. Dawson Carroll going to try and take advantage. Try and wrap around the inside. You can see the gap. People going high over the bump or trying to miss the bump. I should probably shut up about the bump. But Dustin Carroll going to have to slot back in line just in front of them. Lorenzo to the inside of the 51. You know what? One more thing about. Oh, the 89 goes around.
Caution, yellow flag.
One more thing about the bump. It's in the second to third. And this is going to be a big rake for Forrest Smith. Not Forrest Smith. Who's the guy that started on the pits? I don't know. Well, everybody's on the lead lap so far. Oh, unless Forrest Smith. I think Forrest Smith started in pits but didn't get caught down. We're going on pit road right now. Like the 51's leading them. Just a pack of 3 down here. Take a look at what happened to the spin. Momentarily, the Drew Trader, early caution, so it doesn't shock me that we don't have a lot of takers. But what has a tendency to happen is early caution, and then we go green for a while. Last time I said I kind of jinxed it. But looks like these guys taking fuel only, which if you're in the back of the pack, it's a really good strategy trying to extend that fuel run. And Paul Urban, not a stranger to extending the field run. Alright. Gonna load some glorious content. Show what in the world is going on with the 89. I saw him sideways. I think he got sideways on himself. Or by himself. Yeah, dive it down really deep into the inside of the 93. Tries to keep it down low, and the back end cuts out. Oh, the 2 with a nice save. I want to see if the 2 probably hit the wall. Yeah, the 2 hit the wall. He avoided that, but oh, that was a harder hit than I thought for Darnell. Did that bend the left front's all jacked up? But he did get 4 fresh tires. So not required on the 2, which is interesting. He's going to go down the pits once again, though, with some other takers for Smith. Paul Urban going down. These guys are definitely expecting to have a long green flag runner. They would not be doing this. predicting those two for taking fuel only, and they are. The number 2 is going to get some of that damage repaired, which it's really good that that's not required. But then again, sometimes iRacing will tell you have optional damage when your wheel is jacked 45 degrees and you cannot go straight. Gives them a little time on that Wrangler machine to try and get everything together, but Darnell is got very slim chances to make it to the next round. Knows that, but gotta fight. If you have a chance, and he's given a chance. Still down pit road. But he came out earlier, unless earlier he went through his pit stall and missed it. And now he's down there and has a bunch of required, but he is put down a lap by a significant margin, so it's not like he made a mistake. Put down a lap, he intentionally went down there. That left front's looking a lot better. My prediction is he missed the pit stall. Had to come down a second time with everybody else and to fix that, but that crew able to do a very quick repair for a situation that looked pretty bad, only put himself one lap down. So he's hoping for another quick yellow. Everybody else is not. Pace truck down safety pit road. Will Cloud took over the lead somehow. Able to start in the inside spot, and he jumped out in front of everybody. D. Demmer gonna be looking his nose to the outside, and right now everybody's starting single file out. But Fuller's stuck on the inside. As the run progresses, top side's where you're gonna want to be, but in the beginning, it should be good. But these guys are on a little older tires. And you're gonna see the 35 with the momentum off of exit, gonna get that 4th position behind him. Right now, battle for the lead. Dean to the inside of Will Cloud. Will Cloud trying to fight on the outside. Almost a little contact there. And back behind him, the 81 of Forrest Smith. Big time lose. I think he did it to himself, but saved it. Battle for the lead right now. Will maintain it. He was able to defend on the top side. Kind of going along with what I'm saying, make himself not a liar at least. And with these worn tires, top side's where you want to be to defend. We do have a battle for the 3rd position as well. Oh, Fuller with some more issues. All the way back now, right now, battling True Trader. So I have just lost the handle a little bit, but he's back to 10th. And Thorin overtook Malachi Drake. Malachi on the outside looking into the round of 5, so Malachi needs a good run here tonight. But Brian Lorenzo does not want that to happen. In my personal lineup in my head, I do have the 7 making it as being the 5th car, but Malachi is going to need to have some solid runs, and I think their top 5 right now are the most realistic to get it to final round. Dean, Will, Thornton, Malachi, and Brian have all been on fire all season. Thornton with 1 win though, Will with no wins, currently leading. Dean with a decent amount, and Brian Lorenzo the top dog. Also, I'm upset Malachi, but Malachi doesn't have any wins either. Been close. Oh, wiggle out of the 48. But Dean is not able to pounce. Just getting ever so close to that bumper of the 48. But chooses right now just to train right behind him. And Dean with a better exit. Gonna try once again, sending it into turns 3 and 4. Can't quite clear the 48. He's gonna slide up a little bit, but has to leave that room for Will. Will's going to take the spot once again. Passing is just so difficult at these top lane tracks. I really do like racing here on the trucks though. Felt like I had more options with lanes, and I do like Iowa. But if Will gets a top 3, I'm gonna make fun of him. Because he has Iowa sucks on the car. That was a moment out of Dean. Sideways, but overtakes the lead. Will also had a moment too, which allows Thornton to be able to pounce. And right now he's to the inside of Dean. Dean's on the top side defending. And the back end got a little loose on Thornton. And same thing's going to happen to Thornton as it did to Fuller. He's going to be falling back right now, battling for the lead. And right now trying to defend, stay in the top 3. You just see them wiggling. And these cars are looking like a pain to handle at the moment. Right now we are 3 wide for second with Brian Lorenzo on the inside, Thornton in the middle of the sandwich. We're going to get that sorted out to 2 wide. Thornton has to back out of it. And Malachi Drake behind him trying to pounce. Will Cloud able to maintain third, and Brian Lorenzo scoots his way up into third. Will able to maintain second, and Brian able to scoot his way into third. But Brian right now to the inside of Will. Can't really do anything about it, but everybody is just having the rear twitch as they're trying to get on the throttle. So far they've been pretty good about keeping it straight. But I have a feeling that that might be reason for our second caution of the night. Saw Brian overtook Thornton for third. Alright, now third through fifth all over Blanket. There's a couple car links between them and Will for second. For now, it looks like they might have it settled, but Brian able to gain a lot of ground by diving on the inside and having the car stick. Able to close in about a car length to Will. So if you can continue to do that, you're using your tires up more, but making ground. Actually, Will had issues in 1 and 2 and able to leave, not intentionally, but Will trying to see if the car left the top side open for Brian to pounce. Brian's going to take advantage of that. He's going to get his Camaro up in a second, and Thornton trying to take his Mustang to follow through. Will in process wants to battle back like everybody else. But he's going to have to surrender at least second. Right now side by side with Thornton. Probably going to have to give up fourth and possibly going to slot back into the 5th place position. And he is. Malachi Drake taking advantage of that too. And while all of this is happening and jockeying for position, Dean is able to set sail for a little bit. Well, 7/10 of a second, but Brian showing he's got a faster car, and the gap is closing in a little bit. But it's just so hard to pass that when you get to him, then you have to pass him. It's a completely different story. And Will's having a lot of issues right now, falling significantly back. And Will going for a spin. Keeps out on the apron though. He could have caused a caution if he wanted to. Oh, and caution's going to be out for Will. Will did throw the car into reverse as soon as he spun it. So if he's able to keep it on the apron, caution won't come out. So it was interesting. At first saw him really low. I'm like, that's not intentional, is it? But throwing the car in reverse, trying to keep it on the apron, and then he was going again. What is up with that car? So Will really boost on the inside, loses the back end. I think he's trying to save it. Gets onto the apron and it just sends him around. He's throwing it into reverse. Before he tries causing a caution, and then while his car is pointed in the right direction, someone passes him, and iRacing senses the speed of difference. Might be because he's angled slightly up on the track, but as soon as he was passed by that car, iRacing through the yellow, and Team 48 is going to get an EOL. Got quickly to go. Pit stops are happening. Dean off first, Malcolm Drake gaining ground in second, and in third, it's going to be Brian Lorenzo losing the spot. Thornton maintaining in fourth, and Will is back there. Will's actually coming off in eighth, but EOL will put him behind, actually behind Drew Trader. Forrest Smith lapped the session. I know he spun earlier. I don't know if it caused him issues that he just didn't want to deal with anymore, but Bill is gonna start behind Drew Trader, but technically would be in 10th position, the last car on the lead lap. That is if they give him the EOL, which I believe being a one car spin. And it looks like Bill's choosing to go down pit road once more. Probably to top it off while he's at it. Doesn't hurt. But I really wish he was in the spot where I could interview him about that car handling. We're about a fourth of the way done, if it gives us any indication for the race. Wouldn't shock me if there were more yellows, actually, just based on the way these guys are handling. I wouldn't have expected the handling to be so poor. It's gonna be one of my cautions at the end of it, because everybody is experiencing the same exact thing. Just Will, I think, had it a little more worse than everybody else. So don't know if it's because he burnt his tires up or what, but if this is happening, then the likelihood of green flag pit stops pretty slim. Darnell able to get on the lead lap because of it though, so 10 cars on the lead lap. Pace truck going to the safety of pit road very shortly. And Dean's going to lead us to green. Malachi Drake on the outside.
Green flag.
Great jump for Dean. Terrible jump for Malachi. Malachi's trying to defend. He's going to fall back to third because Brian able to go when Dean went. And taking advantage of that, able to pass Malachi Drake. And right now, a lot of these people are under a blanket all the way from Brian in second to Will back there in ninth. Trying to make some very aggressive moves on the bottom right now. A 51 in the middle and 93 up top, but he does have to make those moves if he wants to get up and make it into the round of 5. And after this race, you have Chicagoland and Darlington, so tough track. Chicagoland isn't bad, but Darlington is. You want to try and give yourself at least a buffer. Will making moves right now, but very aggressive contact right now with Steele. Up to 6, but using those tires up. See Paul Urban trying to battle back, trying to do the same move that Will did to him. Diving it down deep, but couldn't quite get it to stick. So at that point, you're just using up your tires and not really gaining anything from it. Will gonna make a move the inside of Fuller, and he's gonna put himself back where he started, battling Thornton, but he's gonna have to chill after this move if he wants to actually have tires. Not telling them out of the races, just a suggestion. They can do what you want. Right now we're 3 wide for third momentarily. Malachi Drake up top. Malachi doesn't look to be as fast, but he's been pretty consistent. Oh, the 51 pancakes the wall back there, but he's going straight. Caution is not going to be thrown for that. Will Cloud's back to where he started. Malachi Drake, I think he's trying to not use up his tires, but he's falling back right now behind Fuller in 6. But Fuller has used his stuff up earlier, so for Fuller's sake, I am hoping that he doesn't have to experience the same thing. Not playing favorites. I'm just rooting for a good show. Put it that way. But we do have a battle for the lead right now. Dean using the top side to defend against Brian. Brian trying to use that inside to pass. That's the only lane that Dean's leaving available. Right now, early in the run is the best time to try and make those moves. Because later in the run, you have to use the top side. Not a whole lot you can do. I am seeing that, on a side note, I am seeing that my racing volume is a little higher than normal. So if it's starting to drown me out, or if you don't like hearing my voice, just let me know. Comments and I can easily switch that. Brian Lorenzo doing some Brian Lorenzo things, stalking the 41, trying to make a move for the lead. Clearly the favorite in the playoff picture. So far they've been nose to tail for about a lap. Brian hasn't been able to get momentum on the 41, although he's just there, and Thornton is also closing in too. Brian gets the momentum off of the turn, but actually I don't think he couldn't quite do anything with it. Brian trying to go way high to get the outside of the 41. Will it work? No. Dean shut the door on the 77. Almost spun himself because of it. Don't know if Brian had to lift. or if that's Dean being aggressive because it's the only way that he'd be able to maintain the lead. Alright, now Brian's trying to make moves. Right out to the inside on 3 and 4, and he's got his nose on the quarter panel of Dean Demmer as they come to the start of turn number 1. He leaves the inside open for Brian. Brian tries to dive it down and exit. Brian loose. Gonna be able to gather it up once again, but blinking. And that's tough. He's not the first person to do that. Will not be the last one tonight. Good save out of Brian, but he does have some regrouping to do. Putting himself in 6, and that's why the inside is tough. It's hard to get it to stick down there, and the car is usually too tight. Why I think this car is too tight, even though the back end snapped loose. That's what I've experienced. Cars pushing, grabs at the last second, snaps the back end, and that gives you a sensation of being loose, but you're really not. So if you adjust the car like you're loose and you try to tighten it up, you're going to make your life worse and miserable. And if your back end steps out on entry, you're actually loose. If it steps out on exit, tight. With the picked up racing. Brian back into 5th. Past Malachi. Drake Malachi being pretty conservative tonight. 5 looked like he might have wanted to make a move, but his gear didn't want to stick and ended up costing him a little time. Malachi's been pretty solid. One of the few people that I haven't seen just completely lose it from pushing. I probably jigged the band. I got some wood to knock. For the lead, we do have another challenger. Zachary Thorne has closed up to .283, if you want to be specific. Seconds behind Dean. And Will Cloud also not far behind too. And Brian's able to regroup back to the 4th position, so soon he'll be back in this picture. But Thorne being the next challenger, we'll see how he can try and navigate Dean to try and make the move and maybe have a different leader of the race. Temporarily, we had Will leading, but Dean was able to get that position back. And Thorne's probably trying to be careful. Oh, he does send it back end. Not playing nice with him. Has to regroup, but he's going to try doing the same maneuver in 3 and 4. And he's not going to be able to clear the 41. Really close to each other. Didn't hit, though. And Dean using that momentum at the top side to defend, because he's able to get on the gas sooner, but Thorne's using his tires up more on the inside, trying to make that maneuver. But Dean is just there, so Thorne cannot close the door, or he'd end up wrecking both of them. That's the absolute last thing you want to have as you're trying to make this round of 5, which is going to be very tough. You got some good drivers trying to make it, and I'll go over the playoff picture right now while I have the racing going on. I'm looking at. Just want to give a status update on Travis. He has been to every race so far except this one. Not because he wanted to throw in the towel and hate everybody, but he got a modified. And his series is starting to kick off very soon, and I know how that goes. I do have an obligation to be here, or else I would be in the garage working on my race car as well. It's that time of year, and most people either have a lot of work to do, procrastinate, or mixture of both, but most people's cars aren't quite done yet. My season's gonna start off end of the year. Thornton really loose. Regroup, but just allows the 41 to extend his lead even more. And deal with the point standings going into the race. Brian Lorenzo leading. Dean Demmer in second. Will Cloud in third. Zachary Thornton also tied for third. And Paul Urban going into the race was fifth. And Malachi Drake, Nicholas Fuller were tied for sixth. And Steele in eighth. Still really close. Dustin Carroll and Joseph Darnell. So heading in, no one's absolutely locked into the next round point-wise, especially because we do have 3 rounds of racing, but this is going to change the picture a little bit. Melka Drake going to want to put on a gap between himself and Paul Irvin. And actually, he's just in front of Melka, so these guys are fighting for a lot. And Nicholas Fuller also in the picture as well, 2 laps down, I think green flag pit stops. So my guess throughout the round is going to be for the last spot between Malachi Drake, Paul Urban, and Nicholas Fuller. One of those guys can make it, but I do have a very strong feeling that Brian, Dean, Will, and Thornton, just based off of their speed all season, are going to be the 4th. And as I've said before, I did pick Malachi, my personal lineup. But Paul Urban, Nicholas Fuller, and actually Steele's pretty close too. Have a good chance of making that 5th spot. Dustin Carroll and Joseph Darnell. Maybe some luck go their way, maybe some strong results, but they're not far off heading into the race as well. And Joseph Darnell is going to end the race in 11th, 22 laps down. But he's going to be in a little of a hole to climb. Same with Carroll, a little hole to climb too. He's going to end the race in 10th. A lot of laps down compared to Drew Trader in 9th. The people that have not pit yet, Will Cloud, actually, stop with Dean. Dean, Will Cloud, Zachary Thornton, Paul Urban, and Michael Steele haven't pitted yet. So our front runners before that have pitted. Brian Lorenzo, who just got his lap back. Malachi Drake. And Steele's been up front. Kind of been mid-pack. But been close up front. He pitted as well. And the 41's gonna have to pit soon. The handle on that car is gone, but he's probably trying to get it stretch out to one more pit stop to the end, because he cannot make it to the end from here. I think the pit cycle is going to be roughly 30 laps. For around lap 70 and our last caution, everybody pitted. Was it lap 30? Maybe a 40 lap run, which would put us just shy of to the end. So maybe a little fuel saving. He could make this his last pit stop. Maybe. Speculating. Yeah, and in the comments, Matt just said he's race controlling for us tonight. You can see him in the lineup as it slides across your screen. Currently, technically 13th because he and Ollie Reeves are. It looks like they're just watching from actually being in the track. But anyways, Matt commented saying that these boys are loose. And they are. Every single person. Not just one or two. Say that Will's drifting in 3 and 4. Even with fresh tires, that 48 drifting. Now drifting really hurts the car. Actually, no, Will's in second. He didn't pit yet, which makes perfect sense why he's drifting the way he is. But he has done a good job closing up the gap to Dean. It looks like Dean just can't be as fast as what he once was. I'm not sure how much longer they can stay out, but they're...
Caution, yellow flag.
Oh, dang. I think this is a break for... I don't know if it's a break for Dean, Will, and Thornton, or if they wanted it to extend a little more, but this will at least help save some fuel. I'm not sure how much longer he could have stayed out if they would have been able to make it to the end. But it's definitely going to put him in a good position too, because a lot of these other people behind him wouldn't shock me if they came down and took their last set of tires, put everybody on the same level playing field, but Dean, Will, and Thornton would have an extra set of tires. And these people right now are taking the natural live around. So next time by, if they choose to pit, they can. After pit cycles, I'm going to see what actually caused the caution. If I were to guess, probably someone on cold tires, and oh, Darnell. Not looking too good, but he's been in pits a while, so I don't think he's our cause. Same with Matthew Cochran. Joseph. Dustin Carroll in the 93. I've seen everybody but Dustin, my gosh. See what Steele and company do. They choose to stay out. They do. So the tire advantage definitely is going to be in the favor of the people, top 3 people. It doesn't look like they want to use that last set of tires quite yet. I also don't blame them because they haven't been out for too long, but they're definitely at a disadvantage compared to Dean, Will, and Thornton. Alright, time to see what caused that. And our culprit is Mr. Zachary Thornton. Just loose. Did a good job staying off of the wall, but speed difference. iRacing recognized that as soon as Steele passed him and caution was thrown. And Zachary Thornton getting the EOL. They do have the rules change a little bit this year. Well, after Matt kind of took over the series, just the different leadership change. But they now have First caution causes well. Second is the normal pass through, and third, I believe, is a don't cause 3. But they don't have the penalty point system anymore. And I just saw a different looking face in the race. 76 laps down, Mr. Brady Floyd must have been in the session, but not race, because that's the only way you can get in. iRace will close it after the race has started. Mr. Brady Floyd is out on track. 76 laps down. And he might be able to catch up to Forrest Smith and end up in P12.
Green, green, green.
Dean leading us, and a lot of people on the inside lane just because of taking that natural wave around. He fires off like a rocket ship. Will Cloud behind him. That's a hungry pack. Right in the middle, starting Zachary Thornton in third, and everybody behind that all stacked up. Malachi Drake able to escape that. Brian Lorenzo almost able to escape that. These guys are getting it sorted out right now as they're all passing by Drew Trader on that inside lane. I do think these guys need one more stop to the end. A little too far out for Dean to stretch it. But everybody is in the same boat. The reason why I think that hypothesis is because they were able to make it to the end, or if it was close, people who pitted earlier would have came down for fuel only, versus they just decided to stay out, not use that last set of tires, and they're going to use it on their last pit stop, which is pretty smart. And they also might have the pit stop too because of tires, because we saw Will get very loose and the car be uncontrollable after only 30 laps. That is also a very good reason to pit too. But if Dean does listen to this race after the fact, hopefully he'll give me some insight as to how many laps he wanted to run or what his strategy would have been if the caution didn't come out. I'm probably going to forget to ask that in the interviews. As you do see, we have a different challenger, or a different leader of the race right now. Will Cloud took over the top spot, and Dean is falling back to third. Don't know if that's a tire saving move from Dean. Could be. All I'm doing is I'm just speculating, probably making myself look like a fool because I don't know exactly what's going through their head. But I have a guess, and my guess is what I'm sticking to it. EFRL usually has it set up to be, if everything were green the entire distance, they usually have it set up to have 2 green flag pit stops. So, the food for thought there. Right now, this is a battle that we have seen very recently happen in these playoffs. Will Cloud and Zachary Thornton duking it out, chasing each other. This is a very familiar sight for these two in different leagues. They're always chasing each other, and most of the time it is for that top position, like they're doing it now. However, Zachary Thornton 1 win and Will Cloud no wins. But recently in the playoffs, like Watkins Glen, first one that comes to mind. Hampshire, Will was up there, and Talladega's Talladega. But Will's been up here competing for wins. Just hasn't been able to seal the deal quite yet. Zachary Thornton's been chasing him. These guys keep it up. Who knows? Might see it in the final round and have an upset winner. Other than Dean or Brian taking over the championship, very well could be one of these two. They deserve it, don't get me wrong, but class of the field the entire season has been Brian and Dean. I'm just looking on ticker. We're gonna have a battle for second very shortly if we don't already. If we do, Dean using the top side against Zachary Thornton. And contact between the two. Thornton able to save it. That was some incredible driving right there. They're still fighting side by side off of the contact. Right now have it settled out. Dean in second. I don't know if any words were exchanged over the radio. To me, just looked like a racing deal. I don't know. My angle is really poor. I don't know who came up or who came down, but they were just fighting really hard. Dean able to take over the second position, though. Zachary Thornton's still able to fight to live another day. And we'll see if he gets up to Dean, if he believes Dean came down on him and give him the bumper. But the way I see that car twitching, seems to be like his handling might start to go away. It's falling off of Dean and getting into the grass right now. Malachi Drake is running fourth. Looking to be a very strong result for him. Nicholas Fuller, who was strong early on, I think had to come down in the pits. Probably got another mishap because he's flying right now. Probably going to take one of those laps back and be able to fight for the lucky dog. And back there!
The yellow flag is out.
The 20 just backed it into the wall. Brady Floyd does not have as much practice as these other guys. Don't know if that played a factor at all. But fuel, tires. See what these guys do. I can only imagine what those words were. After pit stops, we can see what happened to Brady. If my assumption is correct, probably another single car spin. And I believe Brady probably got the butt end of it. Well, he did get the butt end of it. But I believe, yeah, Brady just wasn't able to save the vehicle and the thing just whipped around. Just like everybody doesn't have the handling either, and probably just wasn't able to control it. That's a better word choice. Race off of pit road. The right sides go up way sooner on the 48 than they did on the 41. 48's going to go away with ease. The 41, oh gosh, that's close. Does Zachary Thorne take over a third spot over Dean? According to the ticker, no, he did not. Those two are going to be nose to tail again. All right, time to see what happened to Brady. He apologized over the radio, and he's coming down the pits. He had no cars around him, so I think entering turn one, the back end just steps out. He manages to save it the first time, and then steps out again, and that's what we saw in our camera shot. Not a lot of damage, just pancake the driver's side. He did apologize for it. Definitely didn't mean to have that happen, but yes, we have seen that a lot. Because Brady joined the session so late, I don't know if he was used to the car handling like complete trash or not. Uh, okay. Brady was removed from session. Um, that's interesting. RIP Brady, I guess. But if race control wants to give any insight to the viewers, it'd be much appreciated. However, we'll try to keep as professional as we can. By being removed may not have been an accidental maneuver like I thought it was. Yeah, just because everybody's back end has stepped out. Pace truck is gonna go down pit road once again. We're gonna have a 20-lap shootout. Guys probably did take their final
Green
set
flag.
of tires. Gonna be duking it out to the end. Low Cloud with a good jump on the inside. Dean on the top side, able to escape Thornton. Thornton trying to battle back on the inside. And back there, the 51. Like he played the strategy really well. Able to get himself into fourth. But Brian Lorenzo, he just shut the door. Brian. That was interesting. Gutsy move over there. But Dean to the inside right now. Will up to the track. Don't know if Will got into the wall a little bit, but Dean's going to send it in turns 3 and 4 and going to try and overtake the lead. The 5 also trying to send it too. People don't really care about tires. Will into the wall, but doesn't bounce off into anyone. And he just got into the wall and he just got the lead back. But Dean on that top side using that to defend, and he's able to take over the top spot once again. And everybody is just stacking up behind him, throwing kind of in the middle. That gets settled out, but we got second through second through fourth. I'm all under a blanket. The way these guys are racing, I don't know if they're gonna use their tires up too much. It is a 20 lap run, and those tires did go out in 30 laps. So if you abuse them too much, you might not have anything there at the end. You also don't want to be too conservative. All Urban is not up there as he used to be. Malachi Drake in the back of your screen trying to go to the top side, trying to get around those two. Right now for the lead, Will still in second, trying to track down Dean. Dean's been the dominant car of the race, but Will has been on fire all race long. He's choosing to leave that inside open though. Will gets really loose and he's gonna open the door up for Zachary Thornton to take over second. Thornton's gonna do that with ease. Just killed his momentum. Will's gonna have to fall back to the third position. Zachary Thornton, we'll see if he has anything for the lead. We know words were said earlier between Thornton and Dean, so I'm not sure how they're gonna treat each other. And in the back there, we still have a battle of Malachi trying to get around. He's got to get by both of those guys if he wants to get a jump on them in points and not have to rely on the other two racing. Also, those two are also once again trying to keep ahead of Malachi because this is could be a very tight battle for the top 5. I'm going to shift the camera over to Steele, who's making quite a bit of noise. Usually don't have the camera angle on Steele. Right now trying to battle Paul Urban, but he's also keeping it down on the inside. Might have been able to be a little more aggressive there, but doesn't hurt to give room. Because that inside line just can't get the momentum that the top side does. Steele's going to fall back to 7th. Malachi going to take over that spot. Paul Urban trying to defend to keep his top 5 chances alive. And this is the closest battle we have on track. Just looking, the other close one is between Will Cloud and Zachary Thornton. Similar scenario going on between those guys. Actually, yeah. Show what's going on there. So Thornton all over the back bumper of Will. Actually, Will did take over a second. See if Thornton's able to respond, but Will's starting to pull away ever so slightly. Just seeing it go up 10th by 10th by 10. Just entered the 5 lap to go mark here at Iowa. Closing down. Dean is starting to pull away a little bit, but the battle's on right now. We got a good battle going on for second, good battle going on for the top 5. Paul Irvin holding off Drake at the moment, but Drake's all over the back bumper. Someone just got the wall a little bit. And Thornton all out of shape at the moment. He's going to open the door up for Brian. But Brian's not able to make a move. Malachi Drake, though, to the inside of Paul Irvin. Currently in that top spot. Paul Irvin hits the wall. That's gonna cost him, but Brian goes around. Same thing, back end steps out. Keeps it on the apron though, so yellow doesn't come out. But that absolutely
Caution, yellow
stinks.
flag.
Oh, I think this caused a caution. They kept it on the apron, but Harrison did call a yellow. We'll show what happened, and I don't think people have their last tire set. I'm not expecting them to come in pit road, so I'll just show what happened. And Brian would be, oh, this is happening way back of the straightaway. So dives it down, trying to get the pass on Thornton, just loses the back end, drifts it all the way up the track, keeps it off of Thornton, trying to save it, loops it onto the apron. No yellow should be coming out. Still keeps it on the apron though. And that, don't know why that was a yellow, but, well, I mean, it should have been because he did spin it out, but with iRacing's algorithm, I don't know why that was a yellow. Final lap, so do we not have green or checkers on? I was expecting a green or checkered. This race might end under caution, which is a new one. It says final lap. Dean is gonna take home the win under caution. This is first time I've seen it in EFRL. Dean gonna take the win. Will Cloud in second. Zachary Thorne in third, and we're gonna be interviewing these guys. I thought we were gonna have a dash to the end and full out brawl, but what is behind him? It says Michael Steele in fourth, but on the actual racetrack, my ticker is kind of messed up because of that. As Malachi Drake in seventh, so I'm just gonna go the order based on they're physically on track. Dean Demmer first, Will Cloud in second, Zachary Thorne in third, Malachi Drake in fourth, Paul Urban in fifth, and Michael Steele in sixth. And that's all I know. I know Thorne's not going to hold back in the interview, so this will be interesting. He's going to tell me exactly what's been going on, and there's been some stuff going on through the race that I just do not know about. Oh, okay. So the reason why Brady got a black flag is because the session accidentally had faster pairs on, and that's not allowed in EFRL. I've seen that in other leagues too, so gotta give them a break. And they did say ahead of time if someone gets caught using the faster pair, they'll be black flagged. And that was said just before the start at 8:57. And Brady Floyd got a black flag. So that's probably what happened to Brady. Anyways, we're going to interview. An interview Thornton. I don't know if I'm gonna regret this. Hey Thornton, Matt in the booth, you copy?
Yep.
I have a feeling you have plenty to say about this race. So we'll just start out with kind of how the race went. Um, I know you indeed had some contact balance for a position early on, so just want to touch base on that. But anyways, kind of just overall, how did it go for you? Because you were a front runner all race on in that top three.
Yeah, just to start out with qualifying, it was not very good. Um, and then I gained quite a bit of spots, but um, unfortunately, it just the setup was terrible. So,
Was it the
um,
iRacing setup or?
yeah, it was the iRacing setup, but I don't think they put more than 5 minutes into it. It was so loose that you couldn't control it past like 20 laps. It was impossible.
It did, yeah. Everybody was experiencing that, and
That's why
it
there were so many self spins.
it didn't look fun to drive. I did say that on the broadcast. But that contact with Dean, I did hear in the comments from some people actually in the session, seeing some words are exchanged between you guys. But how was it from your perspective? And if you got close to Dean, would there have been any payback?
No payback at all. He's just a few run-ins. He just said something over the radio, so I just made a little bit of a smart, snarky remark back, but um, nothing more than that.
Okay, so just probably heat of the moment thing, probably.
hmm
Gotcha. Because from my perspective, it did look like hard
Yeah,
racing, but when
it
you're
really
actually in the
wasn't much.
cockpit, yeah, you do have a very different view actually being in the cockpit, and you don't see the full picture.
Yeah, yeah, and
Also,
then the end was just I don't know. Wish we could set sessions correct and have green light checkers, but I can't complain too much because Matt also jumped in mid-season and offered to do this for us, so I don't really think everybody should be complaining about it because it's completely voluntary.
yeah, I do want to say, yeah, Matt chose to step in to finish out the
hmm
season because without Matt, this wouldn't
We would
have
have no
finished
sessions.
at all.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So,
Correct. That's why people should not be complaining too much.
yep, because without Matt, you wouldn't even be here.
Yeah,
I know,
exactly.
yeah, I know it is definitely unfortunate. People do want to race it out to the end.
hmm
I don't know if you have any. Actually, I did stay off of my typical interview questions, so I'll do one typical interview question. You're almost, or you're looking really good to stay in the top five. So, what do you expect from the last two of these rounds as we head then into Kansas?
I don't know. I'm just gonna give my all and race it out, I guess. Hopefully it's a better setup than tonight.
Yep. Yeah, hopefully Iverson put some thought into it. And I did see in other places, people are complaining about Iverson setups in general, just how garbage they are. And a lot of the fast top players are complaining how stupid tight or stupid loose.
Yeah, I saw that too. Hopefully they fix
Yeah, Iverson John.
it.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, Thorin. Before we let you go, um, I know we want to thank you for your performance.
Will, Brian, I don't really want to thank Brady. You, Matt,
Oh,
And I think that's everybody. And people who are being nice to Matt too. I want to thank them.
All right, yeah. Well, thank you for being in the session. No, smaller amount, but have a good rest of
Mhm.
your night.
You too.
All right, next we're going to talk to second place, Will Cloud. Hey, Will, Matt and Booth, you copy?
I got a copy.
All right, so very interesting race. Um, Definitely kind of shows about how much you love Iowa on your car.
Yeah, I don't mean to cut you off, but I need to rant about Iowa. This setup, not only is the track, first of all, tied for the worst oval in iRacing, it should be removed. But besides that point, this genuinely might be the worst setup that the next gen car has. When the right rear tire wears almost 20% more than the right front, that's just saying something. The car is loose, you can't go anywhere, and it's just pain, and it's Iowa, and it's awful.
You got second though, and you led a lot.
But in all seriousness, like actually having pace here was surprising for once, and I have not won all season, so I was really hoping that I was gonna finally be able to convert my pace into a win. And I led a lot, which made me happy. I was second when that final caution came out, and then there ended up being no green white checkers, which is kind of a bummer.
Yep, yeah, it shocked me too. But yeah, the setup, I
Yeah.
was just seeing everybody was absolutely struggling, and it didn't look fun.
Yeah, about like roughly 20 laps into a run, give or take, depending on how hard you are pushing, your right rear would just fall off, and you would be battling looseness after looseness after looseness, and it was just like an endless struggle. That's why I spun like really early in the race because I just was not expecting it, and it just came around on me.
I saw that you were drifting it. Seemed like you were drifting a lot more than everybody, but everybody was having the rear step out almost every single lap.
Yeah, I was just trying to survive Iowa.
Well, you did a good job, maintained. So how you? What do you think about coming to the next few tracks in this round?
Yeah. Yep, I mean, the other 2 tracks are Chicagoland and Darlington. Chicagoland, I don't remember how it is in the next gen, but my one next gen race at Darlington, I hit the pit barrels under caution.
Oh no.
So I am hoping to not repeat that there.
Yeah, we'll see if some redemption for you.
I'm hoping for it.
Yep. Well, yeah, you are looking really good to stay into the well to make it to the round of five. But before we let you go, anyone want to thank you for your performance tonight and your really good spots you have on the car?
I would like to give a shout out to all my teammates at Asia, you, Matt, for the broadcast, for Cloak Media, and Iowa Sucks.
Yeah, Thorin did thank everybody too, but he said except Brady, which I thought that was really
That I wasn't even gonna throw the shade, but that's pretty funny.
so. Yeah, I'm just throwing Thorin under the bus, but I do have it on so anyone can see exactly what he. But
I'll make
thank
sure
you.
to look back at that.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, Willem. Have a good rest of your night.
Thank you, you too.
Hey, Dean, Matt, and Booth, you copy?
I got you, Matt.
All right. Win's a win, but
Yeah,
but
I
yeah,
don't.
there's a big but there.
Yeah, it. I feel like I had the race won on lap 97, not when the lobby got screwed up there. But yeah, I mean, I really don't know what to say about this race, but did not expect to do well tonight. Um, just really fast car and a lot of hard racing, and almost got wrecked twice. So it was an eventful night, and uh, yeah, we'll move on to next week. Side note: this is a huge win for my playoff pitcher. So if I screw up next week, maybe I won't be in the on the cut line.
Yeah, you're looking really good though to make it to the next round. Now I know you are bummed out, but you did have a fantastic race, so we did have a very deserving winner. Even though it didn't go in overtime. If it did go in overtime, honestly, it would have been absolute chaos because everybody's car was loose and no one had tires left. But it's
Yeah, I had a set at the end, but I knew those guys behind me that were trying to beat me were gonna do the opposite of me anyway. So I figured I just I would just stay out and hope for a caution. But uh, yeah, yeah, definitely bummed out. Uh, I agree that I kind of deserved to win that race, but you know it's racing. Who would have knows? I could have, you know, but ah.
yeah.
I
I
don't know
mean,
how to take I don't know how to take it, Matt, but I mean, I
I
feel like I
mean,
should have won,
celebrate
but
it. Deserving
yeah,
winner. It's not like you stole anything. It's not like there was a big wreck at the end and you were just the only one that avoided it. So it's I don't know. If I were you, I would still celebrate it as a win because it is.
yeah, no doubt. I led the majority of the race, and like I said, I'm not mid 90, late 90s. There, I was catching Will for the lead, and I was just hoping for no caution, but then someone came in here and caused one. So yeah, but all in all, I mean, it was a good race. This car is Uh, just incredibly amazing. The looks of it. I love this Mountain Dew scheme I ran tonight. I'll probably bring it back again next week, but I mean, it just looks so good underneath the lights.
Yeah, that scheme does look really good. In the comments, um, his YouTube name is All the Dirt. I know he's the broadcaster for All Star TV. His name just escaped me, so if he's still watching, I apologize. But he did
That's Mick.
comment about how great your scheme was. Who was it?
Mick. He
Oh, it's
broadcast.
Mick. Okay.
Yeah, he broadcast the trucks. So
Oh, gotcha. All right, Nick's a cool guy, so I'm good with that. Don't need to ban him. But I did want to talk
yeah,
about the contact between you and Thornton, because Thornton did kind of give his perspective. Um, he didn't say anything bad actually. He just said he made a smart remark afterwards. But what was your initial reaction? And if you saw the replay, what do you think of it now?
he- so he said I made a smart remark. Is that what you're saying?
No, he said you made a remark and then he made a smart remark back.
Oh well, I mean, I don't want to say too much to get me in trouble, but I don't know. I just feel like I got ran over twice, and I came over the radio and kind of expressed my displeasure, and he said something else, but I'll keep that private between us and to the people that were racing. But yeah, I didn't appreciate getting run into. I didn't touch anybody all night, so that late in the race, it's crucial to not have mistakes happen and get run into or wreck. So definitely didn't appreciate it. I have nothing wrong with Zach. It's just that particular situation kind of ticked me off a little bit.
Okay. I know personally from my perspective, because your perspective inside the car is drastically different from what we see outside the car. I thought it was just hard racing. Obviously in the car you guys are seeing something different, so don't want to like say someone's right, someone's wrong.
Yeah, I mean, if to give you the honest truth, my perspective, the first time he just drilled me going in the corner and just no attempt to pass me, just drove right through me. And then the second time, I get back around him and he left hooks me. So that's the perspective I had. I don't know what his perspective is. I'll have to go back and listen to what he said. But uh, yeah, I mean, but my goal was just to get around him clean and not touch him and create enemies. So that that was my view of it.
Yep. And I'm not out here to cause drama. He didn't like bash you or anything, so don't want to like
I mean, I'm
lie
not
and
bashing
say
him
that
either.
he thinks you're the worst. He just kind of
Yeah, I'm
was
not bashing him
factual
either,
about
man.
it.
Yeah, I'm not bashing him either. I just that frustrated me because I was faster at the. I mean, I don't know. I drove through me. I let him go, and I caught him again. He hit me again. So I don't know what I did to him today, but uh, or he just thought he was racing hard or what. But at the end of the day, we got around him and we beat everybody. So that's my goal every week.
To beat everybody. Typical race car driver. All right, well, you are looking really good to make it to the next round, especially after a win tonight. Obviously, just don't need to be
Yeah,
Superman,
don't
but you
don't
are
don't
looking
pull
really
in New
good.
Hampshire.
All right, well, before we let you go, anyone you want to thank for your performance tonight?
I want to thank you, Matt, for broadcasting. I want to thank all the admins, race control. Matt Cochran, he's doing a great job race controlling. I mean, he just got thrown into it, so he's doing what he can with the help of the other admins and other race control. So appreciate the work that they're doing to keep this league alive and the racing fun and clean and fair. Want to thank Mountain Dew for being on the car tonight. Beautiful paint scheme. Don't know if we'll have another night race. Said earlier I might run it next week, but I don't know. It looks too good underneath the lights to run during the day. So we'll see what happens there, and then all in all, where do we even go next week?
Chicagoland.
Chicagoland. Yeah, it's not a bad track for me. So we'll just go there and see how we do.
Gotcha. All right. Well, good luck and thank you for your time. I did want to reiterate kind of something from Thornton's interview. Not
Yep.
necessarily telling you, but just kind of reiterate for the broadcast. But Thornton did mention about Mick, or not Mick, Matt kind of taking over the session, and he did say that people shouldn't bash him for it because obviously there's mistakes. Maybe trying to make the session, he was thrown into it, but Matt is doing one heck of a job trying to keep this series alive because without Matt, it would have just completely fallen apart right before the playoffs, and we wouldn't have the fun part of the season actually able to happen. So Matt is doing a good job keeping it together. I don't know how many sessions he set up before, but definitely he's
Yeah.
learning a lot how it works, and he's stepping up, and he's the only person to step up voluntarily,
Yeah,
and
that's
he's
that
doing a good job.
that's
So
that's the part I really admire about him. No one told him to do it. No one asked him to do it. He just stepped up and say, "I'll do it if that's what needs to be done." And he gave up his ride. He's willing to sacrifice that for the sake of the rest of the league. So it's definitely something to appreciate and thank him for.
yep, absolutely. Well, thank you for your time, Dean, and have a good rest of your night.
Hey, thank you, Matt. You too, man.
All right, that was Dean. Just talked to the race winner. Um, I did say my on that putting up the session, so hopefully he hears this. Because he did apologize earlier, but I don't really think he did to apologize, to be honest. But anyways, overall, I did think the racing was good. There was a lot of action, a lot of good points to it. Although the setup, it was just really difficult. So don't want to completely bash the racing aspect too, because I did thoroughly enjoy it. Thought there was a lot of good moves, a lot of aggression in there too, especially Paul Urban making some interesting moves. Um, kind of mix up a little bit. Definitely interesting with three red moves. Same with Thornton, Bill, Dean, Brian, making some good moves out there, making it very entertaining. Even though the iRacing setup made it really difficult and just showed how much talent these drivers really have, with the car being such on edge that it is. And even though Will's tire was absolutely shot, he was still keeping the car alive. He only self-spun once, and his car clearly wasn't handling as good as anybody else's, even though everybody else was terrible in his car. Hopefully that made sense. But we'll see you next week at Chicagoland at the